Hi class, I just wanted to explain to you the little bit of a difference and what your assignment will be for today for Mondays, placing decimals and multiplying. Your assignment when you go into your Monday assignment is going to look like this in Google Docs. The difference you'll see is that there's actually a little lesson for your first slide. And then the following two slides are going to be your actual work. So it'll be 1 through 10 on this slide and then 11 through 20. And I had to do it that way because otherwise it was all smushed together and really hard for you to read. So I split it into two different slides instead of one smushed up one. However, the lesson here, it says placing decimals and multiplication. And I hope that I'm going to assume that you've already watched my video on how to do this. But just to recap, determine the placement of the decimal in each product. And that's all you're doing for this assignment, guys. On 1 through 20, you're literally just figuring out where to put the decimal. They literally give you the answer, the product over here. So for example, 5.809, which we know is really 5 and 809 thousandths, times 7.8 or 7 and 8/10. Okay, so we have this number times this number. And we're not actually asking you to do the multiplying in this, which is kind of crazy. We're just asking you or telling you in this assignment, your job is to figure out where to put the decimal. So you can see here they've given you two steps. Count the quantity, which means count the amount of numbers to the right of decimal for each factor. So these two numbers are the factors multiplied together to get that product or that answer, right? So these are your factors. So you're going to count the number of numbers, the quantity of numbers to the right of the decimal. To the right of the decimal, that would be the ones after the decimal. So on each factor, so you have 1, 2, 3 numbers for this factor, plus you have one more number of this factor behind the decimal. So that means you have 4 total numbers behind these decimals combined. Now, and so it tells you that right here. So 5.809 has 3 numbers to the right, and it underlines it for you. 7.8 has 1 number to the right, and it underlines that for you. And then, so now you have 4 numbers behind these decimals here. So then your answer, your product needs to have your decimal behind 4 numbers. Or 4 numbers behind your decimal. So add the amounts together. So you're gonna, not for your answer, okay, but you're gonna add these amounts together. So 3 numbers plus 1 number. Your answer should have the same amount of numbers to the right. So 3 here, and then 1 here is gonna equal 4 total numbers. Now, when you're actually doing the multiplying, which is not today, but a normal multiplication with decimals, you would just multiply like normal and then get your answer and figure out where to plug in the decimal. So today, you're literally just going to figure out where to plug in your decimal. So to do that, you have counted 3 plus your 4 numbers behind that decimal. So then you're going to have to go over here. So you're going to have to count from the right. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers behind the decimal. So that's where you would plug in your decimal right there in between the 5 and 3. So that's how you're going to do it. So you're going to move over here, and anything highlighted in yellow has already been done for you. So I have one example on this page and one example on that page. Okay, so to do this, you can see here, the multiplying, again, it's already done for you. So you have to count however many numbers were here. You have 1 here, 2, 3, 4. So you have 3 and 1. Again, that's 4. So you're going to start from your end over here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. So your decimal needs to be in front of that number. So you can check your work by counting however many numbers are behind your decimal in the end. So I've put 8.3096 as your answer. I plugged in my decimal right there. Okay, so don't go changing any of the fonts. This is just a table. You literally just click in there. For number 2, you're going to count it up. So you have how many? That's right, 4. I'm assuming you said 4. Then you'll just punch it in. So you're going to have to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, so you're going to put your decimal right there in between your 4 and your 2. So when you're typing that, it's just 14.2448. And that's it, guys. You move on to your next one. This one only has what? Has none over here and only 2 behind it over here. So you're going to count here 1, 2. So it's not always going to be 4 behind the decimal, guys. It's however many is behind all of these numbers with decimals. In this case, we only had 2 numbers behind the decimal. So it would be, again, from the right, 1, 2, and it would be in between that 4 and that 4. So you would hit 34.47. Boom. Move on to your next one and count them. How many you got here, guys? So you have 2 behind your decimal here, and you have 3 numbers behind your decimal here. So you're actually going to put it 5 numbers behind your decimal over here. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. So you're going to have a big number there, 11.46889. You check your work by counting, making sure you have the same amount behind your decimal here as these numbers have here combined. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your decimal goes right there. Okay, that's it for your tutorial. I hope you understand where to put your decimal when you're multiplying with decimals. Bye-bye.